Welcome everyone on our weekly Cozystack community meeting. Today's 28th November. I'm host Andriy Kvapil. I have to repeat every time that we have Telegram group where you can join and ask your questions. We also have a Slack channel in official Kubernetes Slack. We probably don't have anyone new, or do we have anyone new on this call who didn't introduce yourself or would like to introduce yourself? That's a time to do. Just put few words about yourself. If not, then we can switch to agenda. Currently, we are planning the next release of Cozystack, and one of the killer feature will be introduced in this release is OIDC-server. On previous meetings, we were deciding which solution we are going to use, and now I'm finally ready to announce that we decided to use Keycloak as the main the solution which has the most popular, which is more popular in the community, and have a lot of adopters. So we decided to go this way and use Keycloak. I'm going to show you something. So now when you're installing Cozystack, the Keycloak will be automatically installed. Also, we automated the configuration of the Keycloak itself. It has automatically created Cozy realm in which you can configure your own users and groups. By default, we have the integration with Cozystack. So when we create new tenants, they will also spawn 4 additional groups. For example, I create new tenants, and I want to give access to this tenant, so I can switch to Keycloak. There will be a provision in the group for this newly created tenant, and for default permissions is to view. This is actually read-only permissions, which allows you to only see the applications installed in the tenant and every subtenants. We have permission use, which allows you to connect to the virtual machines and actually no more. Yeah, it I think also allows you to do port forward. We have admin group, which allows you to create any application from here. And we also have a super admin, which allows you to create tenant applications and also configure the tenant service applications like etcd, ingress, monitoring, and cvid. If you yeah, and this is allowed to attach multiple groups to the single user. So you can go to the users, you can choose user, select groups, and choose them to be different admins in different tenants. After user get authenticated, he'll get automatically the privileges to those namespaces in Kubernetes and to those tenants. Also, we configured Kubernetes to get authenticated through the OIDC. So for now, in tenant root, you can download your kubeconfig file and get access to the cluster. We decided to use ordinary OIDC login. So this is kubeconfig, how it looks like. No, not this one. It has specified the issuer URL, ID, and client secret. So all you need to do is to export this kubeconfig, then try some action and authenticate. Under this user. And now you'll be able to see actually the releases created here and all the resources for this user itself, actually. How is it done? We found someone from the community just shared a really nice operator for configuring Keycloak itself. I would say thank you, but I don't remember who exactly it was. This operator is done by EPAM. It's called ETP Keycloak operator. So it allows you to create Keycloak server. However, we use our own implementation of Keycloak, but we use it for configuring the Keycloak itself. So it allows you to create realms, clients, and all the configuration is done automatically by this operator. Right now, we are finishing the integration of the REST components. So we still need to do some work for update getting starting guide and a few other components like dashboard and roles. I think the new release will be released in the end of this week, maybe at the beginning of the next week. And one other feature which we tested and really interesting to talk on this meeting is KubeSpan. So we have tested Cozystack if it supports running on distributed in distributed configuration when you have nodes in different data centers, and to let them join using in full mesh WireGuard tunnels. This is actually a feature of Talos Linux. So how it works? Actually, every node you create, just to start using this feature, you need to configure your Talos to use discovery service and to enable KubeSpan. The configuration looks like really simple. You just need to put KubeSpan, enable it true, and it will start working. So every node you create in Talos Linux, it will automatically go to the specific discovery service. It's not handling any connection, but it is used just to let nodes find each other and to open the connections, which actually allows you to bypass the NAT. So the nodes get joined all together. They set up secure WireGuard tunnels, and every communication of between the nodes, they will be automatically, this communication will be done through those WireGuard tunnels. The interesting fact of this feature that it does not require any extra configuration from the Cozystack and from Kubernetes side. You don't have to configure internal IPs to strictly stick them to these WireGuard tunnels. So they continue using public IP addresses, but every node have this NF-table rules, which will put all the traffic on these WireGuard tunnels. So in this way, all the communication, so you can use only public network, only public interfaces, and set up secure private network inside of the public network, actually. So all the traffic inside of cluster, it will be encrypted and sent through these WireGuard tunnels. The only thing it requires is to configure M2. There will be a small change in a while. Cozystack. Sorry. So to make it working, you also need to specify reduced MTU number because if you have tunnels, we have encapsulated traffic. The interfaces created for the pods, they should have lower MTU numbers. In this way, it will be working fine. That's it. That's probably all the news from the last weeks. If you have any questions, great. I'm glad that no questions. So good so far. So far, so good. I have one small discussion for you. That's actually will be needed for the next step of making cloud out of Cozystack. Can you tell us which configuration tools and which configuration methods you prefer to describe your infrastructure as a code? So I know the main tool is Terraform. Are you happy using Terraform? Would you like to switch to using Helm or any Kubernetes specific tool? Or do you prefer to use WebUI? So for now, we're trying to put, how's it called? We're trying to choose which method which is more important for us, which we're going to support and then support for it first.
So I would name also Crossplane and CAPI. Crossplane is what my new employer is using, and CAPI is what I'm most familiar with.
Do you mean cluster API?
Yes.
Okay, got it. That's a cool. I think Crossplane uses Terraform under the hood, isn't that?
I think it can. I think you can write Crossplane providers that are just for Crossplane, but I'm not really sure. I'm not that familiar with it yet.
Got it.
I think writing a Crossplane provider is a slightly lower level of lift than writing a controller runtime controller to manage
Interesting.
infrastructure.
Thank you. I'll learn this.
There's also Pulumi, I'll just mention.
Yeah, sure.
But I think that's closer to Terraform than anything.
It uses its own implementation for the cloud resources, I guess.
I think you can also borrow Terraform providers.
All right, got it. Well, anyway, implementing this cluster API, this infrastructure as a code tools is just of the matter supporting the existing operators, the providers. I mean, we just added support for Terraform, and we still in we're still thinking, should we implement separate Terraform provider for Cozystack, or just from our perspective, it makes no much sense because you can use standard Kubernetes provider. And it seems working fine. So in this way, I think the support of these tools will be added automatically. The only thing is WebUI, and we're trying to measure how is it important, because we're still thinking that existing dashboards is not ready to provide to end users until it starts using our own API. So we are currently thinking, should we develop our new dashboard? Should we adopt existing dashboard but rewrite it to use our new API? Or should we choose some headlamp, for example, and integrate and write plugin for it? Currently, we're thinking about this. In this way, if we have any suggestions, any topics to talk, please put them right now. Otherwise, going once, going twice. And thank you everyone for attending our meeting. See you next week, same time. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you too.